Yes, slides so you can see, and if not, I've got my book here too. All right. My dad ran over a frog. It was Christmas Eve, and we were coming home from picking out our Christmas tree. We were singing Christmas carols and eating our candy canes when it happened. My real name is Woodrow, but everybody calls me Woody. I was in the front seat of the car with Mom and Dad. My older brother Tom and younger sister Sally were in the back seat, and we were just about to turn into the driveway, and I yelled, "Dad, look out!" But it was too late. My dad ran over a frog. Look at that, Tom and Michael. Luckily, the frog had sunk into the hole in the street. He was okay, but he seemed scared. The neighbors heard the brakes screech. They came out of their houses to look at the helpless frog. Mr. Baxter said, "Well, what are you going to do with it?" "Yuck, it's so dirty, I don't want it in my house," said Mrs. Crabtree. "Now, just a minute," said my dad. Mr. Perkins interrupted. "If you treat one frog nicely, they will all be hanging around our street." "I bet it's homeless," said Mrs. Jones. "It will gobble up all your food." "I would ignore it if I were you." Finally, I gently picked up the frog and I walked through the crowd to my door.
Mommy, where did you get the candy?
The frog was wet and cold and shaking, and I carried him in and put him near the fireplace. Sally got a small blanket and put him on it. He looked up at us as we stood around him. His left leg seemed a little sore. Other than that, he was fine. Tom, Sally, and I decided to call him Mr. Frog. Then my dad asked, "So what shall we do about Mr. Frog?" "Keep him," we all shouted. My dad said he'd probably like living outdoors where he was free, but we could let him stay with us until he got well. Next came my favorite part of Christmas Eve, decorating the tree. Mom got the Christmas decorations out of the attic. Dad and Tom brought the tree in. Mr. Frog watched everything. We began to decorate the tree. Mr. Frog started to feel at home, I think. He began to hop around, but he was careful about his hurt leg. He hopped under the tree and got tangled in a box of tinsel, and then he stared at an ornament. He seemed so surprised to see his reflection in it. My mom gave Mr. Frog some cranberry sauce, peas, and turkey. He ate it up. Sally gave him a bowl of eggnog. He tasted it and puckered up. He did not like it. We were ready to put the lights on the tree. We put them round and round and round and round, and then we all stood back to watch. "Let there be light," my dad said. He plugged them in. It was the most beautiful tree ever. Mr. Frog just looked and looked at the lights. He just stared at the lights. I think he liked the green ones best. Mr. Frog watched as we watched as Mr. Frog discovered Christmas. Well, it was time to put the star on the top. My dad gently picked up the old star. He carefully climbed the ladder, but on the third step he slipped. The star fell to the floor. It broke into 1,000 pieces. We stared at it broken on the floor. Memories of past Christmases danced in the pieces. No one knew what to say. Then my dad said we should not feel bad about losing our special star. We should think about the good part of this Christmas Eve. We were helping a hurt, homeless frog. Mr. Frog was tired. His eyes were half open. He yawned. It had been a rough day. I got a box to make a bed. Sally put in some cotton snow from under the tree. Tom put a ribbon on the top of the box. Then he wrote Mr. Frog on a stocking. I put it in the bed. Gently, I put Mr. Frog into the warm, cuddly stocking. He shut his eyes and he fell asleep in his stocking. We were ready for sleep, too. I dreamed all night, and my dreams were ornaments, dancing snowmen, gingerbread people, kites, flying geese, frogs, angels, and sleds. Soon it was Christmas morning. We all jumped out of bed and ran to the living room. Oh, those things dancing in his head. We ran past the presents under the tree to Mr. Frog's bed. He was gone. I looked into the tree. He wasn't there. I looked around the living room. He wasn't there either. Sally checked all the rooms upstairs. Tom checked the basement. I checked the dining room and kitchen. Mr. Frog wasn't anywhere. Finally, Dad said, well, let's open our gifts anyway. Then he turned on the Christmas lights. We heard a jingle. It came from the tree. Then we saw it shaking a little. We could not believe our eyes. Mr. Frog was right on top of the tree. He was the star! Yay! Yesterday, Mr. Frog was a hurt stranger on a cold street. On Christmas Day, he became our friend forever. The end. Guys, have a blessed Christmas. Don't forget your treats. They're somewhere out there.